So today is a little bit of a cold day outside, and that makes it a perfect day to make one of these videos. So welcome back everybody to the channel. My name is Geoff Fagien, and today we're going to talk about why I still use the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera in 2020. So yes, this camera is old. I got my first Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera in, I believe, 2013. And I've had basically 4 different Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras since. I basically would have one, I would sell it, and I would basically buy them as I needed them. And this one that I've had for about a year now. And I've been using it a lot more, especially because now my main camera is a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. The main reason I still use the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera is since the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera has the ability to shoot RAW, even though it's 1080p, you have the easy ability to color match the original Pocket Cam to the 4K and the 6K using the Gen 4 color science, which is great. It doesn't 100% look exactly the same as the 4K or the 6K, just like the 4K and the 6K don't look exactly like each other, but you can use a lot of the LUTs, and the look looks so similar that you can use this as a B or a C camera to those cameras as long as you're shooting in RAW. Now, I have tested using ProRes shooting with those cameras, and although the ProRes is really great quality, the ability to color match is a lot harder since you can't use the Gen 4 color science. So if you do plan on picking one of these up, I highly recommend getting SD cards that are strong enough and more powerful enough to shoot RAW so you can do the Gen 4 color science, because that is very important when choosing this to be a B or a C cam to one of those cameras. Even an Ursa Mini G2, you can use the Gen 4 color science and have a very small compact secondary camera. There's really only 2 other reasons why I use this. The second one is actually what you're seeing right now. So we're shooting this YouTube video on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, and the reason being is a lot of these videos I'm perfectly happy with putting them out in 1080, and the colors on the original Blackmagic are so amazing that it's a much smarter option for me to use the original Blackmagic than rigging up my 4K when I like to have it pretty much set in a corner of the room. And you guys don't see it, but I have this whole rig set up over here that I would still need for the original Blackmagic. Both of the Blackmagics have some similar limitations, as there's no flip-up screen, which doesn't matter to me as I use it in a production setting, but in a setting like this, you do need to have a screen. So I do have a screen that's actually right here, which shows me everything that's going on the original Pocket camera. I would need that on the 4K as well, but this screen can actually power the Pocket as well, so it makes it a very nice option to use. One other thing that I noticed is the preamps are definitely not as good on the original Pocket as they are in the 4K, but when I use a Zoom H4n, I actually have the gain well enough that I put it directly into the Pocket camera. I get a nice recording, in addition to the backup recording I have in the H4n, so if anything happens, at least I have redundancy to match the audio, which is great. So I end up getting great audio and great video. The third reason I use this camera kind of goes with the whole color matching, but because the camera is so small compared to the Pocket 4K, I can put this on gimbals much easier in situations where matching colors is very important. So I could put the camera on gimbals such as the Zhiyun Weebill S very easily, even put a power source on the Zhiyun Weebill S and let the Blackmagic run all day. I can match the colors very easily, whereas if I used my GH5 or G7, they're much easier to use, especially with the batteries and the 4K, but matching the colors isn't there. So being able to match the colors, especially when we are going to do color grading in post, is very important, and it makes it a very useful tool. Now, other than YouTube videos, I do not tend to use the Blackmagic Pocket as a primary camera. Because I use the Pocket 4K, it's really delegated to being a secondary camera, a gimbal camera, but mainly now as the vlog camera, because again, I love the colors. The look is just so great, and that hasn't changed. And the ability to actually bring it to Gen 4 color science, like I mentioned earlier, is a really big deal. Just like with RED cameras, when you use an older RED camera, if you're shooting in RED code or RED RAW, you can actually use the new IPP2 color science. I've seen people super scale the video from 1080p into 4K using DaVinci Resolve, but that does require having a pretty beefy computer for it to actually do the whole super scaling thing in a reasonable time frame. I've tried to super scale some of the videos I've actually done for this channel in the past, and although it is possible, it was giving me some crazy times like 18, 20 hours, and it's just not realistic for YouTube videos. But the 1080p for me, at least, is great. I really love this camera. I plan on using it for at least the time being for this channel because the image quality is just great. So if you guys like the Blackmagic Pocket or you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. Again, I really love this camera. It's so cool. It's a little bit overkill for YouTube, but even using the Pocket 4K is a little overkill for YouTube. It's all really a personal preference, and again, I really love the colors. So, if you've liked this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and again, my name is Geoff Fagien, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one.